I know there's a million things to hate on the UFC, but they are the NFL of mixed martial arts. It is what it is. So moving forward, when guys come over from other organizations and the odds are on their side and they're favorites in these fights, just know you should probably bet on the other fucking guy, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Until you're doing the UFC, you're doing the big show, it really doesn't fucking matter. You can walk around and call yourself world champ. Technically, you are. The guy from the CFL or MVP thinks he's the best football player on the planet, but when he goes into Starbucks, no one's taking his picture. But they're taking the picture of the 20th ranked guy in the welterweight division in the UFC. Why is that? Well, marketing. Nope. Because everybody knows the best of the best fight in the UFC. And here's to that point. Everybody on PFL, everybody that ever fought in Bellator, everybody that fought in Strikeforce, all of them, if you ask them, whether they admit it or not, all want to fight in the UFC. Why is that? Because you know it's where the very best go to compete. And you're really not getting respect until you do something in the UFC. It is what it is. Patchy Mix looked fucking terrible. Bad head, awful head movement. Anybody else would have fucking smoked that guy, man. Batista's tough as fuck. I know a lot of people don't like him. I like him. His fundamentals and technical skills are through the roof. He's tough as nails. Anybody else would have fucking starched Patchy Mix that night. Zero head movement. Straight back. No side to side. No angles. No cut off the cage. Terrible fight. Terrible fight. Good fight for Mario Batista. Now he's beat Jose Aldo. Now he beat Patchy Mix, so he's cooking. But it is what it is.
How much, I'm just curious, how much do you think that the UFC jitters really affected Patchy? He didn't look like as confident as he normally does.
Because he's in the UFC. You're in the big show.
How much do you think that affected him?
I mean, everyone deals with it, you know? Some people deal with it and they get a little more emotional, and he has a lot of experience. I didn't expect that out of him, but you know, the UFC jitters are real.
When you started,
so nervous.
So from amateur,
I absolutely mollywopped Chase Gormley. I just went full Bart Simpson bully beatdown, no technique, fucking all gas, no brakes, fucking beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. So you were just like
so
tunnel
nervous.
vision that
Just like chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos. If you would have given me a veteran, it'd been a fucking tough night. So not only is Patchy Mitch doing it for his first fight, because of his success in Bellator, you're getting Mario Batista, number 10 guy. But you're walking around calling yourself world champion. So what'd you think you were going to get? You know? Bet he wasn't as nervous as his first Bellator fight. You're in the big show, bud. This is for all the marbles. This is where the big boys play. This is where the big dogs are at. Then you had Joe Pyfer and Kelvin Gastelum. Listen, say what you want about Kelvin. Shouldn't even be at 85. Small for 85er. Square body. You know, a little extra love handles on the bone there. Just as tough as they come. And it's not like he's... I mean, granted, he did... I thought he lost 30-27. And I'm not one of these guys that go, oh, Joe Pyfer should have come out of there, should have smoked him. He absolutely annihilated him that first round. Should have been a 30-28 or 10-8, sorry, 10-8 round. Knock him down 3 times, just doing what he wants. As a fan of Joe Pyfer, these fights are actually good because he fought a veteran 2 fights ago, right, and kind of struggled a little bit. But that's where you're going to learn. So I know for the hype and stuff, it'd been great if he got him out in the first round. And, you know, people are worried about his cardio. Well, there's only one way to test that. And there's only one way to learn how to fix things in training camp. And it's not by going out there starching Kelvin Gastelum in 40 seconds. You're going to get hype and people, and then you're going to get a very tough matchup next fight, you know, but you're not going to learn much. Joe Pyfer, these are the right steps. The UFC's giving him tough competition. He lost one. They got back on the right track. And now you've got another veteran, Kelvin Gastelum. This is so good. I know you don't want to hear this if you're a Joe Pyfer fan or even if you're a hater. This is so good for his longevity. It just is. As a fan of Joe, I like seeing this stuff. I like that Kelvin wasn't tough, that Kelvin was tough to put away. I like that he had crazy success in the first round. Second round, Kelvin hung in there. Third round, there started being momentum. If it went 4 and 5, could have been a different story. This is all good for Joe Pyfer and his career in the long run. All this is good. All that cage time is good. Knowing that because he has God-given power in his hands. So usually in coming up, anytime he touches anyone, the fight's over. And you think that, man, I touch anybody, it's over. Pump the brakes, young man. You're going to get to a level, and he's there now. We are fighting these veterans and a guy like Kelvin Gastelum, and middleweight's tough, man. There's some really tough vets there where your power isn't going to win you the fight every time. Sometimes it will, lands in the right spot. You're going to have a good night and get out of there. But as far as longevity, you need to know that you're going to land that flush right hand that knocked out all the guys that got you to the big show, and they're going to laugh. They're going to smile, or you're going to knock them on your ass like Kelvin Gastelum, and they're not really phased. They're going to pop back up and continue the game plan. That's what it means to have experience. That's what it means to be a veteran. Kelvin Gastelum has easily top 3 middleweight fights of all time against Anderson Silva. Against Izzy. So for Joe Pyfer, this is a good thing. I know it would have been great if you could have got him out of there, and that's what you want with the hype train. But it's good to slow the roll for the long run and know that, yes, you have heavy hands, but we got to work on the cardio. And then we got to work on, okay, if that right hand's not landing because that's all he was doing was head hunting, and he's going to learn that you're not going to get those vets out of there. You can't just have one trick in your bag and expect success at a high level. Those top 10 guys, bud, just that right hand or that big left hook ain't going to do it. So you're going to get some of these vets that are going to be able to take that away, be able to take his number one tool away, his right hand. They're going to circle away from it and completely take it away. Okay, how do you adapt? What's the plan now? Are you going to have to dive deep and get into those championship rounds, 4 and 5, and your power's way down? How are you going to win those rounds? And there's really only one way to do that, and that's by doing it. That's by competing against these tough veterans. This was a great test. It's good for him in the long run. I'm with you. I'd love to see him get him out in the first round. But as far as Joe Pyfer's IQ, fighting IQ, and not relying on his power, all these steps are good for him to get to where he wants to go. Because if he would have just starched Kelvin, the next guy, then give him another vet. He should beat Kelvin, pretty well-known dude, tough in the division. Now you're going to get an even tougher guy. Where now next time you land that right hand, the guy doesn't fall down. He doesn't really care. He keeps coming forward. Then how do you react to it? So all this is good. All this is good. Kayla Harrison, Julian Pena. I think we only get one more fight out of Kayla Harrison. She's an absolute savage. Bantamweight, she probably has the toughest cut out of any man or female. She said she has to get ready for these fights to make 135, which is not natural for her. She has to train Monday through Sunday. She has to only eat what's in the refrigerator from her trainer. She has like a chef. Mm-hmm. And she feels like she's going to pass out multiple times a day. She has 1 scoop of peanut butter. This isn't healthy, but that's how much of a professional she is. She still makes that way at 135. Julian Pena, I thought maybe could have pushed her a little more and tried to drag it out a little more, but Kayla Harrison's just so damn good, and she's getting more comfortable inside that octagon. Awful matchup for Julian Pena. For Kayla Harrison, the test with her is going to be how she, with that weight cut, how she responds in the 4th and 5th round when she's not landing all those takedowns. Now, we might see that out of Amanda Nunes, and a lot of you are going to say, Amanda's going to smoke her. If she comes out the same way against Julian Pena, Amanda's going to smoke her with her striking. I beg to differ. I think Amanda retired for a reason. She's kind of over it. Now there's this, her former training partners, the belle of the ball. She has a little more fire in her belly to come back. But all that time off, I think Kayla Harrison can close the gap just like she did against Julian Pena. And I do think she beats her. I do. And I think it's her last fight. I think the cut is way too tough. There's definitely no short notice fights for her. I don't know if this is a popular opinion, but to get the best Kayla, to get the best Amanda Nunes, especially having all that time off, she has kids, a family, right? She's been doing her thing. She's out of the game. She still comes to the events, but she's out of the game, right? She's not in the right frame of mind to compete anymore. And now she has to jump back into the pool. I wouldn't mind to see the best performance out of both of them, Amanda and Kayla, to have that fight at 145. Still have it for the belt, probably the last 145 fight ever. But just to make sure you're getting the best out of both athletes, why force him to cut to 35? When I would imagine Amanda Nunes wants it at 45 too. She doesn't want to cut to 35. Kayla sure as fuck doesn't want to cut to 35. So I don't think it matters if they do it at 35 or 45. So why not do it at 45 so Kayla and Amanda Nunes don't have to kill themselves and you get a watered down product? Still have the belt. Still do it for the belt. No one gives a fuck. You know, there's two of them. Just do it.